Them bitches was coming at you about your because they had too much ammo for you. Don't act like you didn't say I wasn't there. Now damn sure ain't gonna come.
The tension in the room was palpable. Despite the crew, rolling cameras, and bright lighting, what should have been a regular taping of the popular reality program turned into a maelstrom simmering beneath the surface. In contrast, Yandy and Rasheeda felt as though they were the only participants in a protracted argument, and everything else seemed to take a backseat. Although Yandy was always a resilient woman, the strain of she had always been at the center of their drama, but it had never been this intimate or personal, and now that it was all on display, she felt as though her poise was being put to the test and that everything was collapsing. Even though Rasheeda had been Yun's confidant and companion for many years, they had never gotten along with MDC. Without a doubt, Rasheeda and M shared a link in a history that had always simmered beneath the surface, but things began to change when Say began dating Yandy. At first, Rasheeda made an effort to be encouraging, but she soon started to question M's commitment and the choices he was making. Rasheeda's words cut through the air like a blade, and Yandy could feel the burning in her chest intensifying as she realized that the cameras were now capturing every second. It wasn't merely the usual jesting or. Their friendship had been characterized by lighthearted banter, and it was sincere. Rasheeda was no longer reserving herself, and her disdain for Manny's choices had grown over time. Rather, every look and comment seemed to be directed at Yandy, as if her relationship with Manny were some specific sin. "Yandy, will you really sit here and protect him?" Rasheeda asked incredulously, "You're still going to act like he's your king in shining armor after everything he's done?" In spite of Yun's anger. Even though she knew it was bad, she made an effort to conceal her feelings. Rasheeda felt attacked, as if she were questioning her judgment, her choices, and everything that had led her to this moment. "Why do you constantly have something to say on so many different topics?" Rasheeda has consistently criticized M and placed the blame for their problems on her. Says Yun's voice was clear, but it was trembled by the pain and annoyance she had been holding inside. "I am the one who has to cope with his past, baggage, and mistakes. Don't sit here and pretend you know what's best for me. It's been too long since this connection started." It gushed forth. Yandy shouted. Yandy wasn't finished yet. She had reached her breaking point, but Rasheeda rolled her eyes and chuckled. With her life on the line, this was no time to back down. "You've always held opinions, but you've been aloof-like critical of me and him. Has never been where we are." In an environment full of verbal abuse and unresolved issues, Rasheeda's presence in M's life had fueled a deeper rivalry and unspoken jealousy that had been simmering for years. I wasn't the only participant, though. With an increasingly angry voice, Yandy responded, "You don't know what we've been through, what I've had to forgive, and yet here you are acting like you have all the answers." Destroying his relationship with Yandy each time. For a minute, the comments felt like a kick in Yandy's face. Rasheeda's eyes widened as she responded aggressively. "You think you're the only one who's had to deal with this mess? You think I don't know what it's like to be in a relationship with someone who's always making mistakes? And he's hurt both of us, and I'm tired of seeing you pretend like he's changed. You're letting him drag you down, Yandy." Since the world was watching and the cameras were on them, she wanted to lash out and yell at Rasheeda for all the hurt she had caused, but she refused to give anyone the satisfaction of seeing her break within. Rather, everything appeared to be falling apart. Rasheeda's constant meddling, M's mistake, and the chaos that had always surrounded them made it feel like the dam was about to burst, no matter how hard you tried to keep things together today. Their voices became increasingly irate as they began to argue, knowing that they were witnessing a partnership breakdown, a drawn-out battle for dominance and respect, and that there was ultimately no obvious way to stop it. The crew watched the allegations play out in the background, unsure of how to intervene. Yandy started to run, tired and restless while Rashid's anger boiled beneath the surface as the cameras continued to capture the fallout. But for Yandy, the real fight had only just begun. In addition to M and Rasheeda's worries, she had to decide how to deal with the disaster in her life and whether she could ever trust anyone again, even herself. Rumor has it that Mies has given up trying to keep her family together and is tired of calling Yandy his wife, has gone back to his true love, Erica. To be honest, this problem is getting really unpleasant, and some individuals are even saying that they may have been married. The only thing that has kept Yandy married is her pride, and ever since Minnie moved in with Erica, it seems like she has lost all self-control. Yandy has accused me of hurting Erica and is telling her to break up with her partner. Otherwise, it will be obvious when they meet. Let me tell you about this tea if you haven't heard of it yet. Earlier this year, Mendy Sees was released from prison for drug-related offenses. With Minnie's help, Yandy handled everything alone while he was in prison, doing everything she could to keep the family strong and united. We all thought Yandy would finally be able to enjoy her marriage after all the work and sacrifices she had made while he was incarcerated. In case you missed it, instead of rewarding Yandy for keeping the family together, Mrs. decided to go for Erica, Yandy's most ferocious enemy. If you have followed the relationship, you will see that Minnie and Erica have been at odds for years because she hasn't established boundaries with Yandy. The marriage attempt included going to therapy to work out their problems. But as they say, once a cheater, always a cheater. For a long time, many of Yandy's Triangle members have denied her married status. Her ego and vanity make her believe she is the only woman in Main's life, despite the fact that she is aware he hasn't been entirely honest with her and is still seeing Erica. Although we are all aware that things aren't as they seem, she is adept at giving the impression that everything is all right. Em and Erica had been together for a long time before Yandy showed up there. Convey my deep concern for his first baby mom, Erica. When things weren't going well, many wanted a companion who could be counted on to be understanding. Samantha claims that Erica was one of the only people he really cared about. According to Erica, she and NSDs had previously lived together, traveled together, shared passports, and even had the opportunity to meet his whole family. She helped take care of his first child while Samantha was away because she was so committed to him. A long-term, wise investment. Many's kept in touch with Erica, even after he married Yandy. According to reports, he moved out of their house and broke up with Yandy to begin a new relationship with Erica now that he is out of jail and has a steady job. Because Yandy took care of all of Mendy Say's issues, kept him in check, and got caught up in baby mama drama, I don't think she deserves the abuse she's getting from Mendy Say. He made it clear to her that his marriage was built on responsibilities rather than love. He also said that he never would have helped her or maintained the family the way she did if their roles had been reversed. She put a lot of effort into raising MC's kids while putting up with his mother's rudeness.
Coming at you about your, because they say keep a damn on me. Don't act like I wasn't there. Like damn sure ain't gonna come to somebody.
Mendy went to his mother, Judy, because he felt that something needed to be done. Without regret, Judy justified her actions by claiming that she had been provoked. Mendy requested Judy to go because he was certain she had gone too far. He made it clear that respect was non-negotiable, even if he knew he had to put his family's security and safety before allowing her to remain in his care. I love you, but I can't let this continue. Judy, furious, believed that the transfer would serve as a wake-up call, even if she felt dishonest. After Judy left, she had to alter her approach, which caused emotional distress for the family. While Yandy discussed the argument with her close friends and voiced her disgust at the ongoing animosity toward Judy for sharing the mess, Mendy showed a great deal of shame despite sticking to his viewpoint. I've always sought explanations, but this disrespect at home is starting to get to me. Despite his affection for his mother, he confided in a close friend that he couldn't allow her to harm the person he had decided to live out the rest of his days with. His mind began to wonder if there was anything more he could have done. But Judy felt cut off from her child and thought Yandy was just playing a game, so she resorted to her own support network to let out her frustration and rage. I raised him. How can he choose me over him? She exclaimed as she described the circumstances involving Yandy and Judy. This dramatic event has made the ongoing saga of the Harris family even more complex by bringing to light how difficult it can be to strike a balance between love, loyalty, and respect in a mixed family. The final cast of Love and Hip Hop was also impacted by the disturbance, in addition to their own family members. Other Atlanta cast members offered their opinions, with some endorsing Yandy and others recognizing Judy's viewpoint as a mother who feels excluded. Viewers wanted to see if Judy and Yandy would get back together or drift apart over the course of the season. While some wished for brief periods of healing, others were gloomy because of the ongoing problems that seemed to afflict the family. There is still a lot of drama in this house, and many people believe that Yandy and Judy's future will not be smooth due to the continuous issues. They traverse the challenging landscape of love, commitment, and family responsibilities for years. MC Harris and Yandy Smith are the epitome of a strong, wholesome collaboration on Love and Hip Hop New York. As they navigated the muddy seas of stardom, family, and criticism, the couple remained committed to one another in spite of several challenges, including MC's legal troubles and a lengthy jail sentence. They received praise for their love, but as is often the case in the entertainment sector, their seemingly ideal relationship had issues that looked to have become worse when M came clean, despite the fact that looks may be deceitful. The first clue that something wasn't right was when M made enigmatic remarks on social media, suggesting that his marriage was in ruins. No one could have foreseen the tempest, but fans speculated about the meaning of his messages. Everyone was taken aback by a video that Mendy Say released a few days later. Mendy Say's allegedly. MC claims that although Yandy and Carlos King, a producer well known for his work on hit reality TV series, have a close business relationship, their bond extends much beyond that. MC provided printouts of the emails and texts he claimed Yandy and Carlos exchanged as evidence for his allegations. "I can't stop thinking about you and our relationship," he said, emphasizing how intimate these letters seem to be despite the professional restrictions. Time spent together restricts one's ability to be creative, which stokes the flames. M's also showed more images he claimed were taken during Yandy and Carlos's private rendezvous. However, some argued that the images might be of innocent guys. C's mind formed a clear picture. In response to these accusations, Yandy denied any wrongdoing and expressed regret for DC's choice to disclose their private issues in a live-streamed video. Although she strongly denied that she and Carlos King were romantic friends, she openly admitted that they were close. Carlos has served as a mentor as well as a friend. Despite her denials, Yandy said that changing our work connection into something it isn't is unjust and demeaning. As Yandy's tone suggested, "I have always stood behind MDs through everything, so being accused in this way feels like a betrayal of the trust that has grown between us as the accusations gain traction." Carlos King broke his silence and denied having an improper relationship with Yandy in a well-written statement. "My relationship with Yandy has always been professional," he stated. Carlos claims that these charges are baseless and unwarranted. Carlos expressed his annoyance at being dragged into a marriage dispute by saying, "I've worked with Yandy for years, and I've always respected her as a professional and a friend. I hope that Minnie and Yandy can resolve this privately." Their children are currently the subject of a media frenzy due to their presence on Love and Hip Hop, in addition to the romance between MDC and Yandy. Friends and family have advised the couple to get help on multiple occasions. Supporters of the pair are divided. Some argue that Yandy should be given the benefit of the doubt because she previously supported Mendy Say's during his legal battle, while others think MC's claims based on the evidence he provided. Although the specifics of any case may be unique, partnerships under investigation often have underlying issues. Fame and public attention can sometimes exacerbate pre-existing problems and create new ones for MCs like Yandy. Without a doubt, reality TV has made their current predicament worse, and social media's influence cannot be ignored in light of their worries. Through public channels, millions of people have been urged to discuss a very personal matter, but this has, In the open, digital age, the situation has gotten worse and brought up privacy concerns. It's unclear what the future holds for Em and Yandy's relationship. They will have a hard time getting back together, even though they both think that family should come first. Once trust has been damaged, it is difficult to rebuild, and the situation is made worse by the public's awareness of supporters' hardships. Many are anticipated to see that Yandy has persisted, regardless of whether this suggests. The couple's primary concern will likely be giving their children a safe environment while they cope with the consequences of these revelations, regardless of whether they decide to stay together or get a divorce amicably. It looked like a normal family dinner at first, but the awful night quickly heated up. The silence was broken by Mindy C's son, who delivered the news with a mix of anger and frustration. A silence descended on the room as everyone tried to understand Yandy's claim that you are to blame for Yandy cheating on you. Mindy C and Yandy were thrust into the spotlight by the persistent accusation, which they quickly refuted. The youngster continued to blame me for not being a strong enough husband or parent and accused her of abandoning the family. "Where is this even coming from?" she asked, her voice quivering with rage and pain as she fought to remain composed. I was so shocked by his son's ridiculous comments that I tried to defuse the situation, but it persisted. His tone was calm but strained, and he tried to control the son by raising his voice and demanding proof for the unfounded accusations, saying, "If you're going to accuse Yandy of something this serious, you better have proof." The conversation quickly heated up as he yelled, "You've always been so caught up in your own issues that you couldn't even see what's been happening right under your nose." In response to the heated argument, Mindy, the head of the home, said, "Love this family. You've been tearing it apart, and he's too blind to see it." The son grew furious. When Yandy's anger and resentment were met with emotional insults and unclear indications, she lost emotional control and began to cry. Others glanced away as Yandy gasped, and the youngster held his face, staring at his father in disbelief at the gravity of what had just happened. The room went silent as he struck his son in a moment of overpowering rage. "I can't believe it's come to this," Mindy remarked in a voice full of regret, trying to control his feelings. Yandy, still crying, comforted him as she struggled with her own pain. When his visibly upset son packed his things and asked to leave, Son refused to back down, saying, "You need time to think about what you've done. Maybe some space will help you understand." Son was far from a young man who was sorry. "I love you, but I can't let this kind of disrespect continue in my home." Without further word, they turned to leave. In the days following the incident, there was a great deal of fear and quiet. Despite Yandy's support for Em's decision, she was unable to conceal her pain, telling a friend, "I feel like I've lost a part of my family, and I don't know if we can ever heal from this." DC also battled his emotions, asking aloud, "Did I do the right thing?" and turning to his closest confidants for solace. "Having to protect my wife and my home makes me feel like a poor husband and father." The father's grief deepened as word of the family's issues circulated among hip-hop and love followers, and he came to the realization that it would be challenging to rebuild his relationship with his child. Social media users in Atlanta were eager to express their thoughts, which ranged from support for MC's youngster to sympathy. "Striking your son is unacceptable." Some fans criticized him for using physical force, while another fan asserted that he had to do what was required to maintain his wife's respect. Mindy was committed to healing his family, despite the fact that the dispute made it harder for the Harrises to deal with their private sorrow in the spotlight. This could not be allowed to occur. Regardless of the matter, read another comment. Some viewers questioned Yandy's involvement in the family dynamics as a result of the incident. Yandy, who has always kept the family together, might find this to be too much. According to many, Yandy's ongoing support and efforts at mediation have given the family optimism as the season progresses. Yandy told a buddy when his son wasn't present, and he walked out to have an honest conversation about their shared ties. "We need to talk face to face and figure out how to move forward," he said. "You both love each other. You just need to find a way to communicate without all the anger, she urged. Mace notes that the fight inside the Harris family is far from over when he questions Yandy about her choice. The dramatic encounter and its aftermath serve as a powerful reminder of the complexities of familial ties and the story's unvarnished and honest exploration of the challenges and triumphs of negotiating love and commitment in a mixed family keeps audiences captivated. Even though Yandy has promised to be loyal and committed, she will not allow Mace to pamper her if her business succeeds or if he becomes an even bigger burden for them at the Grammy Awards and on their show Love Hip Hop. Eventually, Yandy starts to realize that she doesn't need Mace for anything and retreats, acting like a stray puppy that is constantly running. The fact that she never sent in the necessary paperwork for their marriage is another indication of her persistent cunning. Some people say children you didn't push or spit out will always end up like this. Yandy nurtured this adorable child by herself when his father was in jail, and this is what she gets in return. You're playing too much with this child who isn't biologically yours, says Mace. As the filming comes to a close, Yandy steps down from her role as the devoted wife. Some people use the polite phrase, "I hope you found this video entertaining, and I hope to see you in the future one," to convey their hatred for you.